It's 7:06 at 55 KRCD Talk Station. Got to wait for it. Brian Thomas right here. And I've been looking forward to this since I came in this morning and saw the rundown. Matt and Chanel Damaris are in the studio to promote what is an awesome concept, free beer for veterans. Matt, Chanel, great to see you, and wonderful to have you in the studio.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, my pleasure. And let me start by acknowledging that Chanel proudly served her country. Which branch of the service?
I was in the Army National Guard.
Army National Guard. Well, God bless you and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I do anything I can on the 55 KRC Morning Show in honor of veterans' causes, which is probably one of the main reasons you're here. But it is cool regardless. Vets Brews. You can find them online at Homes and, I'm sorry, let me get my reading glasses on. HomesandBrews.com, which is the name of the website organization, but it's beers for veterans. And this idea, I guess it was Matt, you came up with the idea of buying a beer for veterans.
Yeah, so I was throwing I'm a real estate agent for Ownerland, and I used to do in-brewery events, like just like workshops and stuff like that. And I was hosting a veteran event with one of my friends. He's a Marine, and we were like, how are we going to give every veteran that shows up a beer for this event? So we were driving back from Operation Honor after meeting them, and we just kind of talked about it for the 45-minute drive, and we came up with it, and I just never stopped.
That's well, okay. So the idea is that we donate. We give a $10 donation to the organization. Mm-hmm. You will buy a pint of beer for a veteran within that $10 donation, and then the balance. I mean, these inflationary times, you might not be able to get a beer for $10 at a craft brewery anymore. But let's just work with the numbers, all right? So let's say it's $6 for a pint.
And I'm a big supporter of local, so
yeah.
I want to buy local beer. So I want to go to a craft brewery. I'm not usually not at like bars buying Bud Light and stuff like that. I try to get into a local brewery so we can keep the money in our local economy.
You're a beer guy, and you care about the local community. This exactly. I love, and I feel exactly the same way. But you got a little bit of leftover, and then, so you take the balance and you give it to another organization, which I want you to talk about as well. It's Operation Honor. So, the veteran gets the beer, and Operation Honor gets the balance.
That's correct.
That's fantastic. All right, let's talk about how it works before we get to Operation Honor and that charity, which you were raving about when you came in. We first started talking. And let me acknowledge, you married out of your element, mister. Way out of your element. I did too.
I've never heard that before.
Well,
it's the first time someone told me on air, though.
Well, I'm allowed to say that because I'm allowed to compliment women because I'm not politically correct. I know you can't get away with that kind of stuff anymore, but
thank you for the compliment.
Because I did the same thing. I married out of my element. I'll be married 30 years in a couple weeks.
We're coming up on our 17th year in a couple weeks.
Congratulations! That's wonderful. Yeah. So how does the buying of the beer part work?
Okay, so there's a couple ways that you can donate. The easiest way is to donate online. It's a $10 donation. You can do any increment of 10. You go to vetsandbrews.com. There's a donate button. It allows you to put your name in and where you're from, so the vet that receives the beer knows who it came from. The other way is I have, from Operation Honor, there's donation flag cases in some breweries around town. So if you're in one of these breweries and you see a donation flag case, you can stuff money in that as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then the third
drop box for donations to buy veterans beers.
They usually put it right there in the front by the cash register, or they'll have table toppers with a QR code. It says buy a vet a beer for $10 on one side, and then the other side has a QR code that explains Operation Honor.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's the three ways.
So are specific breweries teaming up with you, or
yes.
is this? I mean, because somebody's got to team up with you. Otherwise, you personally have to be there.
Yeah,
hopefully with your wife. To buy the beer for the veteran.
It's true. So, yeah, I've got about 5 breweries now. I started off with Rebel Metal downtown. They're veteran-owned.
Oh, good. I'm glad you told me that.
Also, 16 Lots up in Mason. That's veteran-owned. I've teamed up with them. I'm with the Common Beer Company in Mason, with Narrow Path Brewing Company in Loveland. And then on
that one I know about.
On the 23rd, we're going to have a kickoff party. I have Fretboard that just signed up in Blue Ash.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, there's another brewery down the street from us you might want to try since you got the Loveland brewery that I am familiar with, March 1st.
Yeah.
Across from that Kids First. I think they must have a connection because
they're veteran-owned, too.
Are they veteran-owned?
Yeah.
See, every time I drive by that, because that's basically in my neighborhood. It's just like a few miles from my house. I see this massive kids sports facility on one side, right? Yeah. We took our kids for
yeah.
And I'm thinking, you're going to sit there for 2 hours while your daughter's in Tumblebees boy, I could use a beer. Let's put a brewery right across the street.
And we've done that.
We have done that.
Always packed.
It is.
We've done that several times with our kids.
See, it's just brilliant. I thought
Some people come up with better ideas than
I
others.
know, man. It's never me. I've been a W-2 employee my entire life because I can't come up with ideas like that. I don't know how to brew beer either.
I was actually in March 1st for a little bit, so I don't want to oversaturate it. You know what I mean?
No, I get it.
So, like, I'll take a donation box out of one brewery, try it out in another one for a little while, just to kind of spread the word, different areas, because I think most people in general only travel about 15 minutes to go to a brewery, out of their comfort zone. So I try to kind of figure out.
It's the trip home that they worry about.
Yeah, right. Or the Uber. They don't want it to be too expensive.
Well, there you go, right.
So I move them around a bit, but they are stationary or constant in a few of those breweries.
All right. And then do the people within the brewery then use that money themselves to buy the beers? Or how does the beer get in front of the veteran?
So what they do is they call me up, usually quarterly or so, and they'll say, hey, let's empty out this box. Let's say there's $500 in the box. That's 50 beers. So I come in, I pay for the 50 beers, and I give them the cards. So they have these little cards that say, thank you for your service. I promote myself as a real estate agent to help veterans with their VA benefits and stuff. And on the back it says, this was donated by a patriotic guest at Narrow Path Brewing or something like that. So sometimes they wear buttons. Some people put up signs that say, tell me if you're a veteran, or you can spot a tattoo, or if someone's wearing a hat, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just say, hey, are you a vet? They say yes, and they go, I got a beer for you, man. So they pull out a gift card, and they swipe it and give them a beer.
That is fantastic.
It's all prepaid for.
That is fantastic. I just love the idea. And, saluting the veterans because, I bought veterans beer. In fact, I remember my Uncle Kurt, who served in World War II. I believe he actually got a Silver Star, but he was over in the Pacific Arena.
Okay.
But when I was a young kid, I think it was probably even before my beer drinking age, I remember him telling me, he said, now, if you're ever in a situation when you're around veterans, when you get older, make sure you buy them a beer.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of sage fatherly, just buy them a beer. Because him being in that position, it's something. It's a nice gesture.
Yeah,
it's not. It's affordable, and it's a way to show that you really appreciate in some small measure what they did.
Sure, and I had buddies that served, family members as well, and whenever they got back from whatever they were doing, the first thing you do is like, hey man, let's go get a beer.
Yeah,
and I'm a craft beer enthusiast, so it just made sense to me.
As am I. I'm an IPA guy, and I can't even remember. That's the problem with all the beers these days. It's like I know I've tried that one. I can't remember what it tastes like. It's just a million of them out there. You just work your way through.
Remember, you just keep trying.
That's right. Well, yeah. Until I'm done, I will continue. All right. Now, moving over, I want to ask you about Operation Honor because they're going to get some of the proceeds from this as well. So as I click on their website, which is operationhonor.org. Joe will put this links up on my blog page, by the way, so people will be able to get it. But what is Operation Honor?
So I found out about them with all the events I was doing. I was always looking for a local nonprofit that we could make some money for, and usually it'd be a couple $100 or something for each event. And for the veteran one, I started talking to some folks, and they were like, "Have you ever heard of Operation Honor?" And I was like, "No, what's up with these guys?" So we go down there, and they're in northern Kentucky. They're in the process of building a brand new facility right down there by the Ark Encounter. It's a veteran wood shop, and it's a veteran-focused nonprofit. They handcraft burial flag boxes, and they are the sole supplier to Arlington National Cemetery, and they're located right here in the greater Cincinnati area.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing. So he was on the guy that runs it, his name is Joe Montgomery. He's an awesome dude. That's who I met with. And I'm
looking at the products right now on their site.
Yeah, and they do other products as well. The flag boxes are their big one, but they make all kinds of stuff. But he was at a veteran cemetery, and he noticed that some of all the burial boxes said "Made in China" in the back, and that just kind of rubbed him the wrong way. And he was like, he started this wood shop, and now it's his mission. I mean, every single flag case is handcrafted by a veteran, and they sign the back of it, and it says "Made in the USA" right there on it. So I was blown away as soon as I met him. I was like, this is the guy I'm teaming up with.
That's fantastic. So and they get a little slice of the love. Again, $10 goes to the beer. Some of it goes over to Operation Honor so they can make the boxes, and all of it serving, of course, American veterans. What a great idea. I cannot thank you enough for doing this. Man. And I got right here in my sticky little fingers a cash contribution. I am buying $50 worth of beers.
Awesome.
There you are.
That's a good one. Thanks, brother.
$50. And don't buy beers for yourself with that now. I'm trusting you, and I didn't fill out a form online or anything.
You can trust me. And I mean, I've got some events coming up, so if anybody's interested, I got a Facebook page where I kind of post the events. On June 18th, there is an Irreverent Warriors Silky Walk downtown.
Irreverent
Warriors. They're a group. They kind of help veterans against suicide. They team up with each other for camaraderie. They do these marches through downtown, and they go to different bars. It's like a big bar hop for veterans, and they get wild. So I meet them at one of the breweries down there, and then like I said, on the 23rd, I'll be at Fretboard. There's a Marine for Life group that I team up with a lot. It's every branch is invited. It's a veteran networking event. So if you have served in any branch, stop on down. It's just a time for you to kind of pass out your card and say hi and tell people what you do. I'll be down there for that, and then Fretboard will be doing a kickoff event for Vets Brews. So I'm trying to get as many people around as I can, man.
Well, and I'm hoping that our conversation today will lead more people to your doorstep to participate, because it sounds like you have a hell of a good time doing this.
How can you lose, man?
Seriously. Hanging out with veterans who always have great stories, drinking beer. What is not right or wrong with it? Or what is wrong with this? Nothing. Absolutely nothing wrong with this entire thing. Go to my blog page, 55krc.com. Joe Strecker will update it to include the links for these organizations. And on behalf of all my listeners, veterans and otherwise, Matt and Chanel Damaris, thank you for what you're doing, what you continue to do in your service to the American veteran. And we'll see you at one of the local breweries, I'm sure, at some point.
Yeah, cheers.
It's been a real pleasure having you on the program.
Thanks
real
for having
pleasure.
us.